Hi.
Welcome.
It's Talk Comics to Me time, and we hope you're ready for it, because I know we're not. I'm Champ Chompenstein.
I'm the Horther.
The Horther.
Horther. I'm Horther.
Horther.
Poison Headfield is who I am.
We're here to talk about comics this week. The ones we picked up. None of the ones we read off the wall this time, because I didn't like any of the ones I read off the wall.
I don't have time to talk about them.
I don't want to say anything bad. I'm too tired. I'm too tired to say mean things.
I'm just going to say I read the new Tart one-shot off the wall. Loved it. Nazis. Cool.
Nazis aren't cool. That's not what. That's the way you meant to say it.
That's not what I meant. The story involving Nazis in it was cool. Not because of the Nazis. Because of the implications.
We hate... Go. We hate Nazis.
I hate Nazis. Okay, this book is called Eternal. This is technically an original graphic novel, but I'm going to treat it as if it's just a one-shot because that's what it is. This is about a group of shield maidens who are isolated on an island. Their village keeps getting attacked by groups of men who think they can take it over. They cannot. So they keep, fighting them off because they want the land. Vif or Vif or Vif? I don't know how to pronounce her name. V-I-F.
Five? It's just true.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
She ends up destroying as they call it, a loitering mystical scumbag. But I mean, as all of you should know, killing anything magical does not mean good things. That will just make things worse for you. But basically, it's just a story of how vulnerable you make yourself when you are trying to protect everything around you.
Okay.
I didn't like this at first, and I think the main reason I didn't like it was because I hate when men try to write strong women. It's always bothered me because they always make them just very aggressive and mean because they think that's what makes strong women. But after thinking about this more, I did really like this because I like the art first of all, but I liked the takeaway from the story when you finish it. Just dying for those that you love and protecting them and stuff. So
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it was all right, and I would loan this to people. That's how much I liked it.
We're going to be just a little comic library someday.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. I have Underground. This is a trade paperback. This actually came out in single issues via Image, I guess. And then it was collected via Oni Press. So don't know what's going on with that, but that did happen. I did kind of look into that. I did not see when the single issues came out, but I feel like I vaguely remember at least something like this cover here.
Yeah, I was gonna say
in
that
single
cover.
issues, but I really just don't remember. Basically, sorry, that was just a ramble. That's why you're watching, right? These two park rangers, Seth and Wesley, end up kind of getting stuck in a cave because the big bad mayor is just I want to open this cave up for an attraction, and I'm going to do it by a shady means. So he hires some people and some bad guys. The bad gays. And they do dumb shit and end up blowing up one of the park rangers, and then a chase ensues through the caves, and this is a cave that Wesley, or Wes as she's known in the book, knows fairly well because she's been in the cave several times with other cavers, and they've kind of explored farther than most people.
Cavers. I don't know why I've heard that term before, but I really like it.
But yeah, I really, really liked it. Like Heather said earlier, not in this conversation, but in a conversation we had yesterday, about how they're kind of afraid of cave stuff because it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I think the nice thing about it being in comic book form is it makes those moments a little less uncomfortable, even though
Can I see it?
Yeah, I do think, like, Steve Lieber does nail, like, I'm gonna try to get to a part that, like, kind
very
of
claustrophobic, so caves and tunnels they stress me out a whole lot.
He does a great job of like showing those like tight spaces, and like the colors definitely do a really great job of like giving you
Give me goosebumps. I hate
like
it.
that
Oh,
like
God.
stuff. But I think it's like nice in, like I said, in comic book form, because it's less in like when you're watching stuff like The Descent or like other cave movies. I don't know how many cave movies you've watched, but I feel
I
like
watched The Descent.
I feel like I've seen another cave movie, like another cave horror movie.
X-Files.
I mean, yes, I have seen X-Files, and I think I know which episode you're talking about, but it doesn't make you feel so claustrophobic.
Oh, God, no,
but,
that's like giving me goosebumps. I can't.
but I guess I might be wrong. I really liked it. It was a nice little like crime story, I guess, and I love the ending. There also is a love story in there,
Oh, shit.
so I think that is I mean, I would let you borrow this because I think you might enjoy it on like a level. But yeah, I just grabbed it because I like Steve Lieber's art a lot, and I thought it was fun. I thought it was worth it. I mean, if you like crime stories and are slightly interested in caves,
Who did the colors in that?
I'm not sure. Hold on. It might be Steve still. Oh, no, Ron Chan.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just saw Chan and was like,
Well, and I wasn't sure in the setup, usually this is the letterer, but
right.
Steve does his own letters in this book.
Okay, cool.
So,
Cool.
yeah, I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. It was like I really love the colors because it just like switched through parts of the cave and like changed with the lighting and stuff, and then like you're kind of brought out into the real world, and it's like so much brighter than the rest of the book. It's like really interesting in that way because it's like, well, of course it's gonna be this way, but it's almost odd because you're just like, oh fuck,
Like reading it.
the shift is like really extreme, which is cool.
I think that was the only part that of the Descent that I was like, that's fucking cool, is because when she burst out of the cave at the end, it was nighttime. That movie scares me. I can't.
That movie was one of the most terrifying movies I had watched the first time I watched it. So,
But only like the scary ending. The happy ending, no.
I mean, is there a happy ending?
Not technically, but I mean when she gets out of the cave.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that one. But when she's like gets out and then is actually like, just kidding, you're not actually out.
Yeah. I mean, the first time.
perfect.
Oh shit! I guess we ruined The Descent if nobody's seen that movie.
If you haven't seen that movie, it's been long enough, and I don't care what you say.
It's worth it, even though the bad guys are kind of problematic. Anyway, we should go on.
Why they're never mind. I'm not going to talk about it. Okay, so this is something we both read. I bought this. Well, I'm trying to think. I bought this.
Can you? We actually didn't buy the rest of our comics. We just stole them. Don't
Yeah,
tell our
don't
boss
tell
though.
anyone. I just grabbed what looked good. No, this one, there was a lot of mix-ups with pull box and previews and stuff, so we missed out on not a lot of stuff, but we missed out on some stuff the last few weeks. So this one, it wasn't on my pull, but I got it still because I technically ordered it. That's what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
So pull box, if you're not aware, is a nice little thing where if you have a pull file with a local comic shop and they have like a relationship with Diamond, they're kind of in the beta stage where you can add stuff and like special order stuff and get rid of stuff off your pull via the website, which is really, really nice. But we did run into an issue the July previews, I think is where it came from.
Yeah.
Where a bunch of our special orders did not go through properly. So we've had a lot of just random stuff that we haven't been able to get. And it's a really nice, aspect of being able to kind of just do it yourself rather than having to rely on like the shop. Not that I don't think any shop is bad about that sort of thing. I don't want to make it seem like that. But it's nice to be able to like do it yourself.
Yeah, but this is also another good example of why I don't trust robots.
I mean, they're trying to sabotage us, clearly.
I didn't get my Thor number 17 Miles Morales anniversary cover.
I know.
Because of Pullbox. I'm sorry. I'm still going to be upset about that.
I know. And
I
it's
ordered
fine.
it the day.
It's fine. And Heather and I do usually go through our previews catalog online. That first Friday it comes out online. And do our stuff then. So it kind of does suck when we do it so many months in advance and right then, and then we don't get stuff. But once again, it's still in beta. It's still learning. Everybody's still trying to get everything all figured out, and I do understand.
I should sabotage them again. Anyway, we're just going to talk about comics still.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, I had special ordered this. Champ had as well, but Champ did not get a copy. Just read it though.
Yes, I did.
So this is Human Remains. This is a vault.
I read Wits. If you're listening, I touched your comic book.
Thank God it wasn't me though, because I am leaving grease stains all over this, and I even showered today. So like, I don't know what's going on. Anyway. So it's a cute little. It is a love story, but it's basically about this alien life form, I guess, that infiltrates the Earth, and they destroy anybody that shows any sort of human reaction, like emotional, whether it be like laughing, screaming, crying, anything. It just completely just kills you. But yeah, this is the story of a couple who experiences the day as they get married, and that's when their life changes and everything happens. This issue is more of obviously like an introduction to what happened and where these two people were on that particular day. I texted Champ right after I read this and said it was so stupid, I loved it. Yeah, and that's still how I feel about it.
It's funny because I literally finished it probably like 2 to 5 minutes after you had texted me, because I was reading it, saw a text come in, and I was like, I'm going to finish this book first. And then I saw what it was about, and I was like, that's really funny that you also read this at the same time.
It's the only book that I read on Golden Gotham, the only one. And I always wait to read mine until the day before, because I have terrible memory. But I read this one right away and was like, that was fucking stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like really silly. I think I think it's the writing that comes off like not I don't know how to say it in the right way without like coming off like a dick, but I just don't think it has like the weight of what the story
right.
Like, it feels campy, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's trying too hard to be a dramatic narration when the rest of the story is just kind of silly, like you said.
I like how Sally Cantrino, I believe that's Cantorino. I really like how their art like comes off. Sorry, I don't know your pronouns.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love the art. I love the colors. I love the violence of this book. Maybe that's why I liked it so much, was because it didn't really hold back.
And it's the same artist as I Walk with Monsters. So
I mean, that could have been why I liked it too. But it's very explosive.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I do like all of the gore and all of that aspect of it as well.
But yeah, this is the first issue. It's not a part of the Nightfall, which I thought was strange. I thought it was for sure going to be a part of that, but it's just in the regular vault line. I would say it's worth at least picking up, especially if you enjoyed like I Walk with Monsters and any of the other horror that Walt puts out.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
It was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun. Silly, stupid fun. Me?
Yeah,
you go. Okay.
Yeah, you.
I have not quite caught up on this book yet, so I will not be able to say too much about it. This is Runes. This is issue number 3, right? Yes. I looked at that in the camera and thought it said Runes 2, and I was like, no. I swear this was issue number 3. This particular issue is called And There Came a Wolf. This is just about a Norseman who is discovering what had happened of certain mysteries. He's just trying to get to the bottom of it, and he keeps running into like problems. So that's basically it so far. I have not read this one yet because I didn't finish issue number 2. I thought I would have more time.
That's something I'm finding out about life. There's no
time. It reminds me of Darlene's wedding, the episode of Roseanne where Darlene gets married, like right before Dan has his heart attack, when he is talking to her about like, you don't have as much time as you think that there will be more time. And that's just been like rolling in my head because that episode was on while I was trying to go to sleep last night, and I heard him have the heart attack. I was like, Brayden, can you please turn this off? I can't handle it. This episode destroys me. Anyway, there's not enough time.
Not enough. So let's keep using it.
Let's just waste this time.
This is Something is Killing the Children. This is issue number 20. Sorry that I made the light so bright.
I like it. It just makes me look like an angel.
Basically, you find out if Erica makes it through her trials. Spoiler alert, if you've read any other Something is Killing the Children.
She doesn't.
She does. She is one of the main characters.
I was trying to throw him for a loop.
I was like, Heather.
I knew that she does. I mean, but I was trying to confuse you.
I really, once again, still love this book a shit ton. I love this story arc more than I like the first story arc as a whole. I think it's more interesting. I really like the delve into like the House of Slaughter, these monster hunters. This breaks down like what each colored mask does, which I really liked. I really like the build of the story and how like this is just like, okay, we had you kind of thrown into this story, who these people are, and now we're giving you all this background on all of this stuff. And it's really solid story. Like, it is a very solidly put together book. I really love it. The art is gorgeous. Every issue, I'm just very, very pleased. I'm honestly so hyped on the House of Slaughter like miniseries that's coming out.
Can I see that? Because I actually wanted to see like the art, because I've only ever seen the cover for it.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Sheeran, who did the autumnal, does the art for this House of Slaughter book.
He is so cute.
Yeah, it just looks like the colors look so good. There's a little preview in the back of this issue. It looks great. I'm very excited. Tate Bromble, I think that is. I can't remember.
Bromble?
Who did Barbalian. He's doing the writing. I guess it is in collaboration with Tiny Onion and I can't remember the other artist. It's just the back page.
Okay, I was just making sure because I didn't. Yeah, that looks fantastic.
Yeah, Delerda. I'm sorry, dude.
Delerda.
Delerda.
Deladera.
We'll get it someday, but at least their names are on the book, if nothing else. So it might just be like, hey, we actually wrote this, but we are the original creators. This is just like
we did this.
Yeah. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the House of Slaughter. I really like the story arc. I think if you like horror stuff, and especially as we're going into October, and you're like, what horror comics should I read? Absolutely pick up this book.
It's scary.
It's, I think, three single trades for the first little story, and then this story arc picks up at issue 17, if I'm remembering correctly.
That sounds right.
So yeah, totally worth it. A lot of fun is not the right word, but yes, I'm going to use the word fun because that's where I'm at today.
That's our favorite word.
Yeah. It's interesting. I really like the story build. I really love this book. Champ stamp of approval.
You heard it here first, kids.
All right. So next we have Detective. This is 1043.
1043. This is about our cute little Mayor Nakana trying to get kidnapped by
dudes,
and
apparently an Archie or like nothing.
Yeah, I gotta tell you this. Okay, you know, everyone knows how much I love Redhead Mitten. It's just the thing. This is the first time in my life where I looked at this redheaded man and I said no, because that crown. That's the weakest thing I've ever seen. It immediately turned me off.
Yeah.
I was like, you're not a man.
It's
you are not a
crown.
king. You're a little boy playing dress up.
You know who has a better crown? Jughead.
Anyway. There's a group of rogue... I forget what the people are called.
I don't think they really have a name.
No, I mean like the group, the magistrate, a group of rogue magistrate. I don't know if that's technically what they're considered, or if they have just like infiltrated them. There's a plot, I guess, to kidnap Mayor Nakano, and it is enacted. And Batman, of course, just like flies in there and just starts kicking faces in.
Yeah,
literally,
that's
he does.
it.
I wish I could just show this page without it, like, spoiling everything, because this was, like, the coolest page.
Yeah, no, the page was sick.
Who do you work for? Anytime anyone says that in any sort of interrogation, it reminds me of Austin Powers. So I can't take it seriously. And I couldn't really take this issue seriously, like I had texted you the other night. Like, one of my favorite things about Batman is when he is questioning someone as he's knocking in their teeth. Like, were you expecting an answer? Just wait. Just wait for like 5 minutes. Give them a chance. Anyway.
I mean, I think if I was a bad guy, just the sight of Batman would definitely... I'll tell you fucking everything. Please just don't punch my face out.
I would piss my pants. And then I would probably laugh because I was so scared and I was uncomfortable.
Like, I'll tell you whatever, man.
And then
just
I'd be like, well, yeah, what do you want to know? Like, this wasn't my idea.
Don't do this to me. And then the second story is a continuation of Matthew Rogenberg.
Rogenberg's, yes.
Rosenberg's. That is just leading into, like, the Task Force Z comic that comes out in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Or maybe, like, a couple weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not next week. I think it's the week after that. But that's the Red Hood and Donna story, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. I couldn't read it in this one because I forgot that I didn't read the rest of it in the last one. So I started reading it and I was like, wait, I don't remember what's going on. So
I did read it. It was still enjoyable. I'm not getting the Task Force Z book because, like...
I'll read it off the wall.
There's absolutely no reason for me to do that.
I did have to point out...
I love you, Matthew Rosenberg, but I'm sorry, man. I am very poor.
I did have to point this out because Brayden... I knew this... I've added this to my poll. But for some reason...
first issue.
Yeah, seeing it just, Tinian, Rosenberg, and Otto Schmidt. I love Otto Schmidt, dude. His art... But I saw it and I was like, completely forgot about it for a minute. And I had seen this and I was like, Brayden, they put all these people on this book and it's called DC versus Vampires and they expected me to not get it.
Well, I think that's like the worst part about it is that it's like all three creators I fucking love on a story that I don't want to read.
No, that's how I felt about Deceased. I was like... but it was reversed because it was like, okay, I didn't know who the creators were very well. I hadn't read much, wasn't familiar with them, but the idea sounded cool. And then it got to the point where I was only staying on for the creators because I was like, this is fun. And then I was mad. You remember that? Like, I was so mad at how long that kept going.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where that is also a 12-issue series. So it's just like, why? Why are you doing this? Like, what the fuck?
You can read mine if you enjoyed that first one because I've been trying to get off of Marvel as many Marvel books anyway, and read more DC because the only DC ones I have right now are like Batman, all sorts of Batman books. So I mean,
if I like it, I'll probably just add it to my phone.
Yeah,
but in all reality, I think I ended up adding like a shit ton of DC. This one of the last previews, just because there were a lot of books that interested me. Yeah, but I was just like, I don't. That's why that one I special ordered because I was like, I can't fucking just add this right now.
Yeah,
and I probably will add it just depending on the first issue.
Yeah, no, sucks. I for sure added that right away, and then that Dark Knights of Steel because that's like two things where I'm just like, okay, this is like books made specifically for me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get it.
We're dumb.
Yeah, for sure. They really know how to rope us in. Okay, this is Thor. This is issue number 17. Basically, Thor and Odin are summoned to a planet, and you discover that they are summoned there by Freya and Angela. They get into some sort of cahoots. They battle. They have, a little family meeting about Thor's responsibility as king, and if he doesn't start taking it seriously, shit's gonna happen. It was all right. The only part that I truly enjoyed was when Thor's cell phone rings. Fucking Freya asks about it, and he says it's called the cell phone, and she says, I understand the concept. Loki never shuts up about them. And I just thought it was really funny because that was one of my favorite things about the Journey into Mystery, how Tony Stark had given Kid Loki a cell phone, so he was just constantly, like, playing with it.
Yeah.
I just like that carryover. But yeah, there's like a weird reveal in the end, which I feel like was supposed to be shocking, but it was just like, oh, okay. Like, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Clearly Loki has it. I don't know. I just made that up. I'm just desperate to see Loki again. That's all. Not under these circumstances, but I just told Champ I'm probably going to take Thor off. It really bums me out, but I'm just not interested anymore. I wasn't too interested to begin with, but occasionally there was an issue that I was okay with that was like fun to read. But yeah, lately I've just been like,
Meh.
I have no interest in it. I read it. It feels more like a chore than an enjoyment for me. And I've never felt that way about Thor before, so. Your turn.
All right. This is Batman Reptilian. This is issue number 4.
I hate that baby. I hate that baby so much.
This baby's the best baby you can ever ask for. Look
Those
at
gloss eyes,
The
they scare me.
The gloss eyes, the sallow skin.
That's a radioactive baby.
So this book is weird as fuck. That's all I really need to say. The art
art's
goes
incredible.
Yeah, the art's incredible, but it's also just very like dark once again. But I do really enjoy it. That's something I will also say. The story is weird as fuck, but I also really like it. Batman's just been investigating the murder, the murder / just mutilation of all of his rogues. And now this is kind of putting all of the pieces together, and we're here now. And I don't want to give anything away because it is ludicrous.
Where does the reptile come into play?
It's in there.
Okay, so it's there.
It's in there.
Okay.
Yeah, very specifically this issue does a lot of Batman being oh, here's Columbo shit where he's here's what happened.
Okay.
To the person who caused all of this stuff. But the person who caused all of this stuff does not have really any recollection of doing so because it's not necessarily their fault.
Memento?
Yeah, it's Memento.
Okay, cool.
But no, it's I'll tell you about it when we're done just because it is, like I said, absolutely ludicrous. It's just what the fuck?
Because, as you know, we try not to give spoilers except if it's movies that's been out for 20 years. With the comics, we'll try very hard not to spoil it for anyone while still giving a decent review of it.
But yeah, it's a fun book. It's just, like I said, it's weird.
It's fun.
Of course it's fun, but it's also weird because it's Garth Ennis, so it's gonna have
it's
some,
be very
some
strange.
level of just what the fuck? And it took, I was so confused in those first couple issues that I was just I don't even know what I'm reading. And now, the third issue and this issue have kind of put all of those pieces in place where I feel much more in the loop of what the hell is happening.
Okay. Is it... Because I know some writers, when they do it like that pay off, the explanation, when things start making sense, it's not worth it.
Oh, this is I find this completely worth it.
Okay.
But only, like I said, because it's so fucking just out there.
Okay.
And I'm really interested to see. I think it's only 5 issues. I think it wraps up next issue.
Okay. If that's the case, then I'm gonna get the trade for it because the art alone is really cool.
But yeah, I am really. It's yeah. I am interested to see what happens next issue because it was just when I read it this morning because I decided to read comics instead of doing homework.
Classic.
I don't have that much homework. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It was just I was just what? It's 7:30 in the morning. I was what the fuck?
That's fair.
It's like I said, I'll tell you about it afterwards because you don't care about spoilers and it's just weird.
I truly don't. I tell everyone that when they're this may be spoilers. I'm tell me, dude, I love spoilers because hearing it and
I think
experiencing it for yourself is completely different.
And I think it might sell the book to you more too.
Yes.
But yeah, weird book, really fun. Love weird fun.
Weird fun.
You want to talk about more weird fun?
Yeah, do it.
Oh, wait,
I don't have mine.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Where's your book?
Yeah, mine's at home.
This is Department of Truth. This is issue number 13. Hawk. Hawk is taking Cole to where he saw the star-faced man the first time. Cole finds out about Hawk, I guess, basically being a double agent for the Black Hats while also working for the Department of Truth. And
he plays both sides.
Yeah. Just like everybody. My favorite people play both sides.
I love that for him.
But yeah, this book is still really good. I love the reveal, the way things just like the cadence of the way the writing went was really cool. The art, of course, is just phenomenal. I say phenomenal every time, and I really did like kind of the blocked out like. Wait, I thought there was like blocked out story in this. Yeah, here, like this page where they're talking about the satanic panic and how that kind of grew, and yeah, good book. I don't think I can ever suggest Department of Truth enough. Like it's just. It crawls underneath your skin. It makes you really like think about shit. And then it also, like this issue, there's also Tulpas, which I've been obsessed with since watching Nightmare on Elm Street on last week.
It's one of those. It's an odd horror book, but it also makes conspiracy theories believable.
And I think it does a really great job of also like
Tulpas. I'm sorry. The way that you've just been talking about them, it's really funny to me.
Soon I will make my own tulpas. Soon I'll make my own tulpa. We'll all see. You'll all see. I do think it does a really great job of like trying to make you wonder who's the bad guy and who's the good guy. And I think the thing is, like, especially when it involves the government, is there are no good guys or bad guys. Everybody is just bad. Mm-hmm. Like, that is bottom line. The bad guys are bad. The good guys are bad. And all you can do is try and work against both in whatever way possible.
Hang on for dear life.
Yeah,
just hope you don't get sucked down.
And do whatever you can to maybe make the truth real or just, like, be more aware. So I think it's a very interesting concept. I do love this book for that, because it does make you just like think about conspiracy theories in such a way where it does feel very just like fuck. And it makes it also to a point where you understand why people can fall into these holes. They can believe these things, because it is one of those things where there's that cognitive dissonance where people are like, well, this seems real, so I can find the reality in this. Like, no matter what that takes. If that takes you kind of disregarding even your own family members and their reality, like, and who they are.
I think my enjoyment of it comes a lot from the fact that, like, a lot of people that I know who don't believe in conspiracy theories, they don't because they think they're too intelligent to fall for something like that. And it's like, it's not a matter of whether or not you're intelligent. It's just a matter of whether or not you can see beyond what you think.
Well, I think it's that willingness to believe.
You have to be very open about certain things. And again, it's not a matter of intelligence, because I'm fucking smart and I believe conspiracy. I'm like the smartest person I know. And conspiracy theories are very easy for me to be like, yeah, okay, that could be real, because there's so many different ways of viewing them.
Well, and I think it takes a little bit of distrust in like certain things too. And there's not a lot of trust I have in like certain, like the government, for example.
Right.
Like, I don't trust them. I don't trust the CIA. Like, I don't, like, you know, there's just like aspects where you're just like, okay, yeah, I get this. Or even with like Bigfoot, you know, it's just like, why wouldn't there be something like this?
The world is so big and there's so much we don't know about it. What makes these things not believable?
I mean,
there's so much that is hidden from us. Aliens!
Aliens
are real!
The bottom of the ocean has just like scary ass shit in there. Like,
oh my god.
And shit and you know, like there's so much of it we haven't explored. So yeah, it's just like, it is literally just being able to I guess, yeah, think a little bit beyond, but some, conspiracy theories to an extent are obviously not good to delve into and go down those holes because they are untrustworthy. It's hard to get the true facts of things without really being there. And I think that's also an important thing as we're talking about this sort of stuff to like mention, just because there is like a fountain of information out there, and you don't know your sources most of the time. And with conspiracy theories, you absolutely don't know your sources.
No. It's fun to read about and to investigate, do your own researching, do your own... Damn, dude. That was good. And to draw your own conclusions from it, but you can't 100% believe everything that you read, and I think that's the thing about conspiracy theories that I absolutely love, is like you don't know what's true and what's not. It's just fun to think about it, and it's fun to come up with your own theories, I guess, as to why things happen or why they don't happen or why things are the way that they are, and how much of it you can trust, how much of it you can believe, because the people that they are coming from are most likely not trustworthy, and they are doing it to see,
kind of spread that
misinformation. Yeah, exactly. It's a very scary book, but it's very accessible.
Yeah. I think this is probably one of my favorite books on the shelf.
Absolutely, and I wish Patrick was here right now so that he could say something about it, because he always says, love that book.
Yeah, which is, can't suggest it enough. It does, like, once again, get under your skin in a really great way, and it just kind of, makes you think and, like, reflect in also a strange way. Mm-hmm. Art's great.
Because
art's, like, so fucking great.
The art is, like, absolutely incredible.
Which is, like, I think one of the reasons this book is so good is because the art just fits in, like,
it's kind of uncomfortable, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's very good. It's just a good, fun book. And scary.
I think if you like X-Files, this is definitely one to fucking check out.
And Investigation Discovery. I was like, what was that channel you just did?
Investigation.
Yes. There it is. Okay, I'm going to continue talking. Oh God, I almost hit the microphone. If only this book was like a normal book, but it's not. It's this. This is Echolands. This is issue number 2. This is a weird ass book. I do have my complaints about it being set up this way, but I feel like the story would not feel the same way if it was set up like a normal ass comic book. I keep saying ass.
I keep saying fuck, so we're on one right now.
A normal comic book, but basically this is about a girl, I cannot remember her name in this because there's just so many different moving pieces of it. But it's about a girl who steals something from a wizard. So the wizard has his daughter hunt her down. This item that she had stolen put the rest of her group of people in danger. So they are trying to escape the city without being noticed. And they are being hunted. But this issue in particular kind of explains more of the relationships between the characters within her group. One of the characters, his name is Core. He's just this big brute. He is her best friend, and she just kind of explains why she loves him so much. And it's, because despite everything that she has like done to him or to the group, like he would die for any of them to protect them, to keep them safe and all that. And that's what it shows in here, is him just like, fuck everything. I'm just gonna save you, because they can't save themselves. But the group is really wild because there's like a vampire in it. There's like one page where there's a machine that's kind of I keep wanting to say investigate, and that's not what I want to say. There we go. It explains what each of the characters is, like their species, their male, female. My favorite one is an elf non-binary person from Mythwood. The robot cannot figure out exactly where they're from or who they are, and I just think that's really cool. It's a very, very weird book. I do like the art a lot in it because it's gross, if that makes sense. Like, it's just the characters aren't necessarily like good but the art just is kind of gross to me. Every time I see someone, I'm like, ugh. But yeah, a wizard who gets something stolen from him and is like, fuck that girl, and then wants to kill her. And it's their journey getting away. And everything goes wrong because they don't plan anything. They just do it.
Okay. And we got 1 and 1, so I'm gonna go now.
Oh, okay. Fuck, I forgot about that.
We had a weird level. This is Blacksmith. This is issue number 3. This came out 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was a while.
I got it late just because Diamond issues, of course.
Who'd have thought?
Strummer and her roommate, whose name I'm Ben, are still investigating these missing silver bullets, and they think it's vampires. It's not vampires, and that's just kind of it. Like, it's just a detective story, but with the monster twist, like supernatural twist, yeah. And I love mysteries. I love supernatural stuff, so obviously a book I really enjoy.
That's like, yep. How's the art? Because how I feel about black and white art.
I really like the art. I think it looks real good. But that's
not bad.
Just because I don't mind black and white art. I also like the line work a lot and the shadowing. And I think they do a really good job without colors, making it look the way it needs to look. And yeah. And I also just really like the story. Like, I just really like the fact that Strummer, who is basically a PI, never takes like supernatural type of cases. They talk about in this issue how most of the cases they take are human cases about like cheating and like that sort of thing, and they have that advantage since they're a werewolf. They can smell these things or like catch these lies, and like
it's easy for them.
But this is different, so
a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, I really did. I like that aspect of the book. I don't know, like I said, sucker for mysteries, so
right.
And I'm excited. Like, I don't know who it is.
Damn. No, I was just gonna say it was the partner.
No,
it's got to be the partner. It's got to be. That's the twist.
I don't think so, but that's just me.
You would know better than I would. Okay, I have Locust. This is issue number 4. I'm not sure actually how many issues this is going to be. This is a post-apocalyptic story about a world where people are turning into locusts and killing, pretty much. So the humans that are left have to defend themselves by killing the locusts, which is like their people and stuff. This particular issue, the main character, who is only referred to as like Mr. for the most part in this, so I can't remember like if his name was ever mentioned.
Yeah,
actually there's a Max, apparently. Seems weird. I don't remember his name being that. Anyway, Max has saved a little girl from a swarm of locusts, and he's trying to keep her safe. This issue is told in 2 years ago and then the present time, and in the present time the girl has gone missing, and he knows where she is and he's trying to save her, but he's like injured. His former friend Ford is the one who runs the post-apocalyptic cult, which every story has for some reason. The cult is kidnapping children that are still alive and using them as food. So Max knows where the kid is and he's trying to go save her, but this goes into how he had met the girl originally and how he's like trying to protect her and stuff. And I think it's very sweet. Because he literally risks his life to save this kid. He doesn't even know who this kid is. He just sees a kid in danger and is like, oh shit, gotta go save this kid. And this is after like everything that has happened to him, and he's still just trying to protect her. So,
all right,
yeah, I thought it's very interesting. I do really like that book. So, it's something I wasn't really expecting, especially with with what the story is about. Because most post-apocalyptic stories that you read have something to do with zombies, maybe vampires. Yeah. It's weird to see one that is about locusts and not just like normal swarms of locusts. It's an illness that turns humans into locusts. Mm-hmm. So I think that's very interesting, and to see how and why he has not been affected by it. That's all. That's all I got.
All right. This was one Heather used to read, but took it off her
I
profile.
dropped it. And I don't remember why.
This is Adventure Man. This is number 5. I mean, probably because you weren't sure if it was going to come back.
It just, it did take a while, and I don't feel like I was interested in the last issue.
I mean, the last issue came out in October of 2020. So this actually kind of ends how, like, the fourth issue kind of started this fight between Claire, who is Adventure Man, and, like, the bad guys of Adventure Man. So this kind of, like, ends that actual story. So
okay.
I feel like this is something you may want to read, but maybe not, just because it's been a year. And I didn't realize it had been so long until I read the back matter, because I was just like, I was reading it and I was like, what? I know. I kind of vaguely remember all of this stuff happening, but damn, dude.
That's a long time.
That is a long time. But also, I don't know, like, kind of used to Fractions books doing this sort of thing, like with sex criminals, and I think one of the only few books of, like, Matt Fractions I've read that, like, come out on a normal basis has been, like, Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, like, that book. Like, November trades came out fairly regularly as well.
I was gonna say, like, every few months.
But I really, like, I don't know, I still really like this story just because I like the idea that this story, like, this thing was so big, but everybody forgot because it's kind of what was supposed to happen. And now, like, everything's kind of reversing as, like, these bad guys are coming through, Claire's becoming Adventure Man, and how these, like, pieces got put into place to make her, like, realize that sort of thing.
Okay.
I just really like it. I guess I like the art a lot. I did,
truly love the art. And I didn't mind the story. I just, like, it probably, like you had said, had been so long that I kind of forgot what was happening, and I maybe talked myself into thinking that, like, I didn't like it anymore.
Well, and I don't think that's necessarily it. I felt like that last issue kind of had, like, some finality to it as well. So it's just like, do I need to, like, keep reading it? Because this is a book I have, like, gone back and forth on personally, like, as I'm, like, going through my pull file trying to, like, decide what I want to get rid of, but I never do, just because I find the story fun. I like the pulpy aspect of it, and I don't know, sometimes, like, having such a long break from books it's all right. Like, I think that's the cool thing about comics, and the awful thing about comics is, like, sometimes you do just, like, straight up forget, but you're like, all right, I'm just gonna fucking head on into this next issue and hope, like, I can fill in the gaps. And I was able to, like, I remembered, like, all of those aspects of the book, and then also remembered, like, okay, this is how that last issue left off. So I don't know, and I think that was also kind of a weird thing about, like, what Adventure Man is and how it is that memory of a story. And
I had no memory of this story, so it wasn't for me, apparently.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Like, it's good. Art's great. Colors are good. Fun stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Actually a fun, like, action book, too.
Actually fun. Yeah, I know I went back and forth on it for several months, and I just took it off, like, a few weeks ago.
Yeah, no, and like I said, it makes sense, because this is definitely a book where I'm like, well, do I not? And it's just like, well, I'll just wait. We'll just wait it out and see. And here I am. I think when I kind of skimmed the back stuff today, it was just like, it's going to kind of regularly come out till the end of this story arc, and then a break, the trade out in 2022, and, like, more issues. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not expecting much. Just, like, art takes a while. I understand life happens, so I'm not, like,
we're in the pandemic.
Yeah, so much, so I'm not mad.
Yeah, that's fair, I suppose.
All right, ready?
Yes.
Okay, so now we have Die. This is issue number 20. This is the very last issue. I don't want to say it. Sorry, I'm reading the back. Which I always end up like not doing until the end. I don't want to say a lot about it. what I do want to say is something I said to my friend Drew this week when I was talking about, this book made me reflect about like my D&D group, what it means to me to play like role-playing games, but also just like games in general, as I've been doing more board games and stuff of that matter, and how much like those interactions and those relationships that I've built with people, like no matter how much I have gotten apart from them, has like, it makes me miss them and love them and like love every moment I got with D&D. But also like the great thing about good books, especially like good fiction, is it makes you reflect on your own life and pull pieces of like your own experiences and sit there with them and do that reflection and be able to see those moments and those things that mean a lot to you, especially, since it is not real, but it is real because so many people play D&D. D&D means a lot to so many people, or role-playing games mean a lot to so many people, and it does create those relationships and those conversations, and I think it's the same to be said about Many Deaths of Layla Starr, like Day Tripper. Like, those are solid books because they make you just think about life and your friends and moments and just stuff. And that's what I took out of this book, is just like the good and the bad and everything in between. But we're here. We made it out. Like, what do we do after that? Like, we just keep moving and we do what means something to us.
Damn, dude, you just said like literally everything I wanted to say. It was a phenomenal book, and I Are you okay? No, I had so many things I wanted to say, but you just like you said it all, so it's like fine, I'm
sorry.
No, it's okay.
I take it back.
Thank you. Okay, now let me talk. No, I like this book because it doesn't deal a lot with like. It doesn't. It deals a lot with death, and not just like in real life, but also in the world that you are playing in. And I think that's something that that's not talked about enough when you're doing like RPGs and stuff like that, is like how the deaths of certain people within this universe, this world that you have created, how hard they can be. I don't know. I really like this book. I write a lot of stories, and so it was easy for me to relate to a lot of the things that were happening in here. I don't necessarily play D&D. I like to pretend that I do with my siblings. We don't actually play it. We just love creating characters. And then like FaceTiming about it. But it's still just like one of those things where we put all this time and this effort into these characters, and we have like their backgrounds, their all sorts of situations in our head. We've just never actually played with them. It just feels like we have because we've developed them so well. So for them to just like exist and then just like,
yeah,
it's a thing.
And you just put your heart into it. And that's like the thing. And I think that's like the thing about this book too. And, like I said, it's just like if you're putting your good self into there, you're putting your bad self into there, and you're putting your true self into there. And like, I think that's an important part of like who your character is. And I haven't played D&D with my group since last year, and we played our one campaign for like 5 years, but when it ended, it was just very bittersweet, but it was also just like it needed to end. And I think that's something like Di even puts in there, is like sometimes just like things have to end, and sometimes you have to like just disconnect. And I don't know, like I'm excited to read this book as like a whole.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna go back and read it again, because there were a lot of points that were made in this particular issue that I'm excited to go back and like reference again.
Yeah, and that was the best part about this last issue. Like, that was honestly, like, me being sappy and reflecting was also a nice part, but it was just the connection from beginning to end, and how each little thing that, like, I might have been confused about or just been like, why does this matter? Like, was put into the end, and that's That's gorgeous. That's good storytelling. Like
I don't think I say this enough. Kieran Gillen, phenomenal writer.
Yeah.
I cannot say enough good things about his writing.
Yeah,
I
and
can't. Every single time it just like draws me in and then just destroys me.
I think Stephanie Hahn's art just did a really great job of carrying the story and like that fantasy element. And then like honestly, we have seen them as their characters for so long.
I forgot what they looked like.
Yeah, so seeing them
Totally
out
forgot,
of the game, my brain was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, when
This
I like
is-
ran into Soul again, I was like, no, that's not him. He's a Fallen.
Yeah, so it's just like I love that aspect. I love the colors, like especially in this book, these colors are just so good, and I think they reflect all of the emotions of the story. Yeah, I think this is definitely a book worth picking up, especially if you play RPGs or I don't know, even for me, like I said, that board game aspect and just like realizing even in board games that I play like a certain way and a certain kind of character, and yeah, I loved it. It was gorgeous. It was a very like I'm absolutely just like so pleased I picked up this book and didn't ever give up on it, because I feel like there was a point where I was like, I don't know if I like this, and I do. I loved it. I thought it was gorgeous.
Can I read this panel? Because it doesn't spoil anything, and it's the one that hit me the hardest.
Yeah.
Compared to the screaming and blood sprays of the first time, it was quiet. We were adults now. Our screams were mainly internal. Killed me. I can't. That part, and then like the whole next page as I was reading it, I was like at work reading it, and I just like started crying. Just because of like how well it's done and how they took that fantasy aspect of it but then related it to the real world.
I would say
And
it's the parallels.
yeah, I absolutely loved it. It's such a good book. It's only 20 issues, so
You can
pick it
do
up.
it.
What
You
is it,
don't
like 4 trades?
4 trades
It'd be
after
4
this,
trades,
I
yeah.
think. Yeah. Maybe 5. But we read it from 2018 to now. Mm-hmm. And so if you can just like get it all done in like one group, I think it is much better read in trade probably, just because the gaps between can kind of make you like forget stuff, and this book is fairly dense in just like what it's saying and what it's doing.
It makes a lot of I was going to say lyrical. That's not the right word.
Lyrical.
Book references.
Literary,
yes. I was like, why can I not think of this word? It makes a lot of literary references, but to like classic books and classic authors and stuff. So that
stuff that's really familiar.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be a bit confusing if you've never really read any of that kind of stuff before, because it's hard. It can be hard if you're not interested in it. That's all I wanted to say about it.
All right, you go.
Okay. I have not read this yet. This is Beast Boy Loves Raven. And I love Beast Boy Loves Raven. So just wanted to put that out there. This follows up the Beast Boy and Raven, each one separate, the little graphic novels that Kame Garcia and Gabriel Piccolo put out. It's basically a retelling of the Teen Titans. They have their powers the same way, but their history is different. So in Raven's, her foster mother dies, so she is living with her cousin, I believe, and her cousin's mother. And then she finds out about who she is and all that, and goes on the run because she is trying to find Slade. And then Beast Boy, Garfield Logan, he has the same genetic mutation, I guess, that he has in the actual Origins, but it's just a bit different in this one. He doesn't know that he has it until a certain age, and then once he realizes it, he tries to embrace it, but like a bunch of shit happens, obviously, so he leaves as well. And in this, they run into each other. This introduces Damien, apparently, which I was very excited about. It's not a spoiler because it was going to happen, but I just didn't realize that Kame Garcia and Gabriel Piccolo were going to be doing more books. For some reason, I was just like, yeah, it's just Raven and Beast Boy. It didn't even cross my mind that they would
Yeah.
do all the Teen Titans, but apparently that's what they're doing, and I'm very excited. So, yeah, that's it. They're just looking for Slade. They run into each other, and they love each other.
All right. So I have Good Asian. This is issue number 5. This is the beginning of a new story arc. The new trade came out yesterday rather, sorry. This is actually just kind of doing flashbacks. So you're kind of figuring out like what basically took Edison's heart to this place and all of the stuff in between. Just good detective work, yeah.
It's just real good detective work.
I do like it still. Like, I like the art. I like the story. I just, there's not a lot to say because otherwise there's just, like, it is, in 4 issues, built a very, very deep, like, story, and this does literally just do a flashback. So,
Okay.
just kind of gives you, like, that, like, introspective into, like, why he is the way he is.
That's fair.
All right, this is Wolverine 16. This kind of ends a story arc.
Yeah, I would assume so. It's just basically, you like Double Crossing, right? This book is full of them.
Yeah. We just talked about this earlier. I mean, I can't really say much because it's just like pirates and double crosses and shit you would expect. And I don't know, like you said, I think I'll just take it off my poll just because I'm not really interested anymore, and I don't know what more cool Wolverine-ness I could get out of this.
Yeah, I think I got it with, the X of Swords. I think I got what I wanted out of it with the vampires. Like, I just I don't see any other adversary in this, like, series that would interest me. I would be surprised.
Yeah.
If it gets to that. And as much as I do love short little 5'3" Wolverine, I think I am going to take it off my poll.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
So,
This is Inferno. This is issue number 1. This starts the end.
yeah, I mean, this just kind of is ending what Hickman was building within House and Powers and figuring out who Moira is, trying to find out the connection between Mystique and Destiny. And I don't know, I'm excited just because I don't think there's a lot you can say about this book without like ruining a lot of it. But I think if you read House and Powers and that was something like that was a story you really enjoyed, I do think this is worth picking up just because it is kind of filling in those gaps of like who's bad, who's good, and maybe not. Like,
It's like we talked about with, Department of Truth. Like, maybe there is no, like, good or bad. Maybe even the good people are bad.
yeah.
That's X-Men for you.
Yeah, I just, I liked it. I don't want to ruin anything, so.
Yeah, definitely not. I will say, though, this art in this book,
So good.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Magneto with the hair. Moira with the faces. That shit.
Yeah, no, it's all gorgeous.
It's very,
yeah,
very,
the
very
colors
well
are
done.
good, the art is good. Yeah, the story is really interesting. It is funny because it's been a minute since we've had like a Hickman X-Men or a Hickman book. So like all of the words, I was like, oh my god.
That's exactly like when you said the other day, you were like, no, it's very dense, so you might want to wait till you get home to read it. I was like, fine, I will. Even though I hate being told what to do. And so I got home and I like read the first few pages and I was like, damn, I'm glad I waited until I got home
Yeah.
because I actually was able to read it and absorb everything that I had read. And it was like the first Hickman X-Men book that I read that I was just like, oh, I understand everything because I read it all at once.
Yeah, and that's why I told you to read it at home, just because I didn't want you to get interrupted. And that's why I read it on Tuesday night, because I didn't want to be like reading it at work, because knowing, like when I read House and Powers, there were points where I was just kind of trying to blow through issues, and I was like, you can't do that with Hickman stuff. Like, you just kind of have to like actually put in the effort to think about a comic book, I guess.
Yeah, I had a hell of a time because I was reading it last night and Lizzie was next to me and I was trying to like explain to her what was going on. She's a dog. She doesn't know what's going on, but I was explaining to her that this was Nightcrawler and he's dead on the cover, see? And then I got thinking about House and Powers again and like how he died in that, and so I before I started reading it, I like went down to my comics and pulled that out and read that page again and was like, I don't know if I want him to die again.
Okay.
I don't think I can handle that. That's all. Those are our comics. That was Inferno. That's
it.
one of the better X-Men books that I've read in the last few months.
Yeah, no, same. Terribly terrible to say, but yeah,
It was,
same.
yeah, surprising. No, I guess not surprising because I haven't really read a Hickman X-Men book that has left me disappointed.
Yeah, I get
like
that.
I've enjoyed them all to a certain extent.
I think
but-
the thing I liked the most about this too is that he took all of those pieces of like that X-Men story he had, which was just kind of like boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
And just like it's all here. Like all those little things that you're just like, does this matter?
Right.
It's here, and that's like, I like that. I like that a lot.
He's very good at tying up loose ends and including maps for it.
Not wrong. All right, so I guess that is actually all we have today.
This was one of the longest recordings we've ever
Yeah,
done.
and you said it was going to be short.
Well, we had 10 books.
So anyway, we love you. Thanks for listening. Go support your local comic book stores. Buy some comics. Support your local libraries. Take care of your friends. Be good.
Donate money to Indigenous and Black communities.
Yeah.
I guess help people that need it.
Take care of yourselves. We'll see you later on the flap, flip, flop, flippity flip.
Floop.
The flop, flop, flop.